Hey everyone, I'm Daniel and you are watching a video from Chasing Edges. I'm excited today to present a new project. I have a brand new Husqvarna FE 350. This is a dual sport, an enduro type motorcycle. It's a 4-stroke fuel injected motorcycle and it is brand new to me. I have put 1 hour almost exactly on it, just enough to get the first oil change in and on the books. So I'm super excited about this bike. I have owned a variety of motorcycles and like old school 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers in the past. I love the old Honda Trail 110s. I've had several of them and I've run them just into the ground. But with age, I've gotten a lot heavier, and those old 110s just don't have the power to take me up the hills and around the mountains and in the ways that I want to. I've also wanted to get a bit more speed, and my scope for adventure has kind of grown a lot since I was a child. Most recently I had an old is it an XL 250, the Honda 250 motorcycles from the late 70s, early 80s. And it was a great bike, but it was kind of on its last leg. The power on it was dropping, the clutch was having some issues, and it was ready for a rebuild. And so I sold it and just haven't really known what to get since. Now the important thing, and I'll get into this a little bit more later, is I have a big trip coming up with a friend next summer, and I needed to have a great bike for that. Initially I was planning on getting a Kawasaki KLX 250. I really like that bike, but the more I looked at it and the more I thought about it, the more I felt that it was probably a little bit underpowered to carry my 200 pounds, 245, 250 right now, but optimally someday I'll be closer to 200, plus somewhere around 50 to 100 pounds of gear, and so I felt like it would be kind of underpowered for what I want to be able to do. That's what brought me to the Husqvarna. Now, this bike does not come without its limitations, and the big one for me is the fact that I'll be changing the oil every 15 hours on it. So that basically means that I have to carry at least a quart on most trips, if not a half a gallon to a full gallon, or 4 liters anyway, of oil with me. And that's a big limitation, something I'm not very excited about. But I'm kind of chasing a rabbit hole on this. The point is this bike is brand new to me. I have done nothing to it yet, though I do have supplies to make several upgrades. Most of those upgrades I'll bring you along with me as I make the changes and then talk you through why I am doing those things. Now, I mentioned that I have a big trip coming up next summer. I am going to be taking a 2-week trip from Mexico to Canada across the Continental Divide Route. This is the first trip of kind of that magnitude, or of any magnitude for that matter, that I will be taking. Most of my riding has been 5-10 miles a day on trails and back roads. And so this trip isn't super different in that it'll be mostly dirt roads and back roads and a little bit of single track. But it's different in that it'll be 14 days straight and that it will be roughly 2,700 miles. Now, the way that this project came about is, I want to say 4 years ago now, a friend and I were talking, and he was very into motorcycles at the time. I had done some riding, and I think possibly at the time I had that XL 250, but probably I was just running a Honda 110. So we talked about doing a trip like this. I've been dreaming of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail for a very long time, and I think we were probably talking about something like that. I don't remember exactly how it came up, but we decided that in 2020, 5 years into the future, we would ride the Continental Divide Route together. Now, at the time he had a motorcycle, I did not. I didn't have the money to buy gear or vacation to take 2 weeks off. I knew I needed to plan this out way into the future. And if I did that, I thought, well, I'll probably be prepared. Well, 2019 snuck up on me and I wasn't prepared. I planned on buying a bike in March and then didn't because some other expenses came up and I thought that the money would be better spent elsewhere. Then the fall came and I thought, well, I really need to get a bike. And then things kind of came up and plans changed, and I was pretty sure that my bike purchase would come in February again. But I got lucky. I got a great deal on this one for the year-end models. It's a 2019 FE 350, and I got it for a great deal from the dealership. And so I jumped on it, and now I've got my bike, which is really a good thing because I have about 8 months to prepare to go on this very long ride with my friend. So my goal between now and then is to improve my riding skills. I have a lot of work left to do, both on the street and off-road, to be as good as I want to be. My second goal is to just get a lot of practice behind me. I want to get feeling really comfortable on this bike specifically. And my third goal is to really customize the ride so that it's something that I am confident in and something that I'm comfortable riding on for many hours a day. I think this bike specifically is going to be great because my preference is towards off-road riding, single track type riding. Now, I'm not a super enduro rider. Some of the stuff that I see people doing is, to me, kind of boggles my mind. But I am very comfortable on a single track, and that's the kind of space that I want to be. Somewhere where it's not readily visible that there's a lot of human footprint there. Now, as far as my short-term plans for this bike, I'd consider out through maybe 2021 as short-term. I plan on doing a lot of local trails. I might do the Idaho backcountry discovery route maybe in 2021. They're kind of mostly just local things here to East Idaho. Longer term, moving into maybe 2025, by then I'd love to ride the Trans-American Trail. I'd love to do some of the other BDRs. I would really like to get super comfortable on this and maybe even try like a KTM bike that's built a little bit more for street and less for off-road, and see how much I'm liking doing the street side of these adventures. All that said, I have a lot to learn, a lot yet to discover. I'm working on a stock bike right now, but I'm about to jump into some projects on it. I just wanted to give you a quick intro before I made any big changes to the bike. So thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoy this series. I'm super excited about it, and there are a lot of videos to come. KLR 250, KLX, what's that bike called? See, I wanted it really bad.